Discovery and Awakening. Dr. Elena Cortez stared at the excavation site before her, heart pounding. The ancient structure they'd uncovered beneath the Antarctic ice wasn't just old, it was impossible. Dating techniques put it at over 400,000 years old, yet the metal alloys and crystalline technology embedded in its walls weren't primitive. They were advanced beyond anything humanity had yet developed. Status report. She spoke into her comm unit, voice steady despite her excitement. All sections reporting green, Doctor, replied Maya Chen, her chief engineer. The power signature is still increasing, but slowly. Whatever this place is, it's waking up. For 3 months, the international research team had been excavating what they initially thought was an unusual geological formation detected by ground-penetrating radar. Instead, they found a facility of clearly artificial origin, built by unknown hands millennia before modern humans had even evolved. In the command center, a hastily constructed module on the ice above the dig site, the Global Science Council representatives watched the live feeds with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. The markings aren't consistent with any known ancient human civilization, said Dr. Jacobson, an archaeolinguist who had flown in from Oxford. The closest approximation would be mathematical symbols rather than language, equations possibly. General Catry of the United Earth Defense Force studied the displays with narrowed eyes. And we're certain this isn't some elaborate hoax. Elena shook her head on the video feed. Impossible. We've verified dating through multiple independent methods. This structure was built when our ancestors were still figuring out stone tools. But that's not even the most remarkable thing. She gestured for the camera operator to follow her deeper into the structure. The walls glowed with faint blue light that seemed to flow like liquid through circuit-like patterns. The facility is powering up on its own, as if it were programmed to activate after a specific time period, or in response to specific conditions. 3 days later, the discovery could no longer be contained. Governments worldwide convened emergency sessions as news leaked of the Antarctic find. When the facility fully activated, it emitted a precise, directed quantum signal that was detected by observatories around the world. It wasn't aimed at Earth, but outward, toward distant stars. The Human Council formed within a week, a crisis management body comprised of scientific experts, military strategists, and government representatives from every nation. Dr. Elena Cortez found herself at its center, tasked with understanding the facility and its purpose before whatever was out there responded to its signal. It's a beacon, she explained during the council's first session. But it's also something more. The facility contains what appear to be dimensional gateway technologies, dormant but intact. The facility revealed its secrets slowly. The mathematical symbols turned out to be a form of universal communication, a way to share complex ideas without relying on language. As the research team decoded them, they realized the terrible truth. Earth had been hidden. The ancient structure wasn't built by primitive humans. It was a sanctuary, constructed by an advanced civilization that had concealed Earth in a dimensional pocket, a slight phase shift from the normal universe, to protect it from a cosmic war that had raged across the stars. Dr. Cortez stood before the council, her exhaustion evident in the dark circles under her eyes. The gateways were designed to reconnect us to the broader universe when we reached a certain technological threshold. That's what's happening now. We've triggered the emergence protocol. General Catry leaned forward. Emergence into what, Doctor? A universe at war, she replied grimly. According to the data we've translated, the conflict spans millions of years and hundreds of star systems. 2 primary factions, the Guardians who hid us away, and the Harvesters who consume worlds for resources and energy. The council chambers erupted in argument. Some advocated shutting down the facility immediately. Others insisted on continuing to study it to prepare for whatever might come. The debate became moot 3 days later when the first gateway activated. The Antarctic facility hummed with energy as a portion of its central chamber transformed into a shimmering portal. Armed guards raised weapons as a figure emerged. Tall, vaguely humanoid, with iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. The being raised four-fingered hands in what seemed a universal gesture of peace. "We are the Lumina," it said in perfect English, its voice resonating strangely. "We have monitored your development since your emergence as a species. The beacons have activated because you are needed." "This is merely the beginning," Dr. Cortez told the council as they watched harvester ships falling from the sky on screens around the chamber. "The modified gateway doesn't just disable their technology. It's given us access to their dimensional communication network. We can see them now. All of them." Human forces rallied, pushing back against the weakened invaders. The turning point came at the Battle of New Delhi, where quantum-enhanced weapons based on gateway technology destroyed the largest harvester processing center on Earth. The victory was broadcast worldwide, rekindling hope. The Lumina emissary observed these developments with what seemed like astonishment, its skin cycling through colors never before seen. "You have accomplished in months what took us centuries," it said to Elena as they watched the counteroffensive unfold. "Perhaps we were right to preserve your species, though not for the reasons we originally thought." General Catry allowed himself a small smile. "The harvesters made a critical error. They attacked a world that had never known peace. We've been fighting ourselves for our entire history. We were built for this." As the first part of humanity's struggle against the harvesters drew to a close, the Human Council prepared for the next phase. The enemy had been driven from Earth, but the war was far from over. The dimensional gateways reveal a universe in turmoil, with countless worlds under harvester control or threat. "The harvesters will return," the Lumina warned, "with greater numbers and adapted technology." Dr. Cortez nodded, her face set with determination. "Then we'll be ready. Humanity is joining this war, but on our terms." The counter-offensive. 6 months after repelling the initial harvester attack, Earth had transformed. The Antarctic facility, once a research site, had become the headquarters for humanity's most ambitious project, the Dimensional Defense Grid. Additional gateway nodes had been constructed at strategic locations around the planet, creating a network that could detect and disrupt unauthorized dimensional incursions. But humanity wasn't merely playing defense. Dr. Maya Chen stood before the expanded Human Council, now including representatives from the Lumina and 3 other allied species who had emerged from hiding after news of Earth's successful resistance spread through the dimensional communications network. "Project Leapfrog is operational," she announced, unable to keep the pride from her voice. "The prototype vessels have successfully completed dimensional transition trials." On the display behind her, sleek ships unlike any previous human design rotated slowly. They resembled manta rays, their hulls embedded with crystalline structures derived from both Lumina and repurposed harvester technology. "These aren't just spaceships," General Catry explained to the assembled dignitaries. "They're mobile gateway generators. They can create controlled dimensional transitions that allow them to effectively skip through spacetime, appearing and disappearing at will." The Lumina emissary, now joined by 3 others of its kind who served as military advisors, displayed patterns of cautious approval across their skin. "You have managed to miniaturize gateway technology beyond what we thought possible," the lead emissary acknowledged. "But the power requirements must be enormous." Dr. Cortez stepped forward. "That's where Dr. Afolayan's team made the breakthrough." She nodded toward a Nigerian physicist whose theoretical work had revolutionized their understanding of dimensional energetics. "We're not generating power conventionally. We're harvesting it directly from the dimensional boundaries themselves." The first deployment of Earth's dimensional fleet occurred 3 weeks later in response to a harvester attack on Proxima Centauri II, a Lumina outpost world. The battle was brief and decisive. Human ships phased in and out of normal space, striking harvester vessels before they could respond, then vanishing again. The enemy, accustomed to overwhelming technological superiority, had no effective countermeasures. News of the victory spread rapidly through the Allied communications network. Species that had been hiding or barely surviving under harvester dominance began to resist. The cosmic war, stagnant for millennia, suddenly had a new vector of chaos: humanity. In the Dimensional Fleet's command center, established in Earth orbit, Admiral Teresa Ocó, formerly of the Brazilian Navy, coordinated operations across an increasingly complex battlefield that spanned multiple star systems and dimensional planes. The harvesters are adapting, she reported to the Council during their monthly strategic review. They're attempting to replicate our phasing technology, though with limited success. More concerning is their new focus on targeting our gateway infrastructure directly. The second harvester attack on Earth came not from space, but through subversion. Harvester infiltration units, disguised to pass as human, attempted to sabotage the Antarctic facility and other gateway nodes. The plot was foiled by an unexpected ally. Artificial intelligence systems developed to monitor dimensional anomalies detected the subtle differences in how the infiltrators interacted with spacetime. Dr. Jayesh Patel, head of the AI Research Division, explained the discovery to the Council. The harvesters exist slightly out of phase with our dimension even when they're physically present. Our neural networks can detect the micro-distortions they create in reality itself. This breakthrough led to the development of Dimension Sight technology, augmented reality systems that allowed human soldiers to perceive dimensional anomalies. Combined with quantum-enhanced weapons, these systems transformed ground combat against harvester forces. As humanity pushed deeper into harvester-controlled space, they encountered more species who had fallen victim to the cosmic predators. Some were nearly extinct, surviving only in hidden enclaves. Others had been subjugated, forced to serve as resources or labor. These encounters hardened humanity's resolve. The Galactic Alliance formed officially 1 year after Earth's emergence from dimensional hiding. 17 species, each with unique capabilities and technologies, united under a common cause. Humanity, despite being among the youngest and technologically simplest members, found itself in a leadership position due to its innovative approach to gateway technology. The harvesters have ruled through fear and technological superiority for too long. Ambassador Kwan addressed the first gathering of the Alliance on the neutral space station Harmony. They expected species to surrender or flee. They weren't prepared for one that would stand and fight, and then take the fight to them. Intelligence gathered from liberated worlds revealed a disturbing truth. The harvesters weren't merely conquering for resources or territory. They were consuming dimensional energy itself, collapsing entire planes of existence to fuel their civilization. The war wasn't just for survival, but for the integrity of the multiverse. The location of the harvester homeworld, or rather, their dimensional hub, had long been the most closely guarded secret in the cosmos. But the captured data, combined with humanity's unique approach to dimensional mathematics, finally pinpointed it. A massive artificial structure existing at the intersection of 7 dimensional planes. We can't attack it directly, General Katri, now Supreme Commander of Allied Forces, told the assembled War Council. Even with our combined fleets, their defenses would overwhelm us before we could approach. Dr. Cortez, who had become the foremost human expert on dimensional physics, proposed an alternative. We don't need to destroy their hub. We need to disconnect it. The structure exists because those 7 dimensions are perfectly aligned. If we could disrupt that alignment even slightly, the plan required precision and cooperation on an unprecedented scale. While the main Allied fleet engaged harvester forces across multiple fronts as a diversion, a specialized strike force would deploy modified gateway generators at strategic points around the dimensional hub. These devices wouldn't attack the harvesters directly but would subtly alter the dimensional constants in their vicinity. The mission nearly failed. Harvester defensive systems were more sophisticated than anticipated, and half the strike team was lost before they could deploy their devices. Commander Sophia Drake, leading the human contingent, made a desperate decision. The final generator needs to be placed inside their primary dimensional fold, she reported, her transmission breaking up through layers of distorted spacetime. I'm taking it in manually. Her ship, smaller and more maneuverable than the others, slipped through a temporary gap in the Harvester defenses. Telemetry showed it approaching the heart of the enemy hub. Then nothing. For 72 agonizing hours, the Allied forces continued their diversionary attacks, sustaining heavy losses with no confirmation that the main mission had succeeded. Then, across all dimensional planes, a shockwave of energy radiated outward from the Harvester hub. The massive structure didn't explode as much as it unraveled, its perfectly balanced dimensional connections coming apart. Harvester ships and installations throughout known space suddenly lost power as their energy source destabilized. The great predators of the cosmos found themselves vulnerable for the first time in millions of years. In the aftermath, as Allied forces secured former Harvester territories and liberated countless enslaved worlds, exploration teams searched the remnants of the dimensional hub. Against all odds, they found Commander Drake's ship, its dimensional shields barely functioning, trapped in a pocket of stable spacetime within the collapsing structure. Drake herself was unconscious but alive, having placed the final generator and initiated an emergency dimensional fold that partially protected her from the catastrophic unraveling of the hub. Her rescue became a symbol of humanity's tenacity and ingenuity in the face of cosmic threats. 3 years after Earth's emergence, the Human Council convened a special session to address the representatives of over 50 species, now part of the expanded alliance. Dr. Elena Cortez, who had begun this journey staring in wonder at ancient technology beneath Antarctic ice, took the podium. "The war isn't over," she said frankly. "Harvester remnants still threaten many systems, and other dangers undoubtedly wait in the vastness of the multiverse. But today, we've proven something that perhaps even we didn't believe at the start. Dimensions can be crossed, powerful empires can fall, and a species that only yesterday was hidden away can tomorrow help reshape the cosmos." General Katri, standing beside her, added, "Humanity has always excelled at war. It's our greatest shame and occasionally our saving grace. But our true strength isn't our capacity for violence, but our relentless drive to protect what we value. We fought not just for Earth, but for all worlds threatened by extinction." The Lumina emissary, its skin glowing with the deep blue that humans had learned signified profound respect, addressed the assembly last. "When we concealed the Earth thousands of years ago, we hoped to preserve a species with potential. We could not have imagined that you would become the catalyst for a transformation spanning multiple dimensions. The ancient ones who built the original gateways would be humbled by what their technology has become in human hands." As the new Dimensional Regulation Authority established its headquarters in Earth orbit, humanity found itself at the center of a rapidly evolving cosmic society. The Gateway Network, once used primarily for warfare, was being repurposed to connect civilizations, foster trade, and explore previously inaccessible regions of the multiverse. Commander Drake, recovered from her injuries and now Admiral of Earth's expanding dimensional fleet, often reflected on how quickly humanity had adapted to its new reality. "We spent our entire history looking up at the stars," she told a class of new recruits at the Dimensional Academy. "We never imagined we'd end up guarding the very fabric of reality itself." The dimensional gates that had revealed humanity to the cosmos now served as monuments to an unexpected truth. Sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't the oldest, the strongest, or the most technologically advanced. It's the one most willing to stand and fight when everything is at stake. Humanity had emerged from hiding to find a universe in peril, and in doing so, discovered its place among the stars was greater than anyone could have imagined.